Good afternoon, everybody. Brian Wells here from Now Sourcing. It's a little after 3:30 on Thursday, if you're joining us live, and we are continuing our South by Southwest live series. Today, we have the pleasure of talking with David Berkowitz from Sysomos. How's it going, David?
Good. How are you?
Excellent. We've known each other a long time, haven't we? Man.
Quite a while.
We went to the same college. We lived in the same town together for a while. We've been kind of like following each other around and all that. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of marketers that are out there know your name quite well. Maybe just tell everybody a little bit about you.
Sure, happy to. Well, it's like I just keep trying to follow in your footsteps here, but those are big shoes to fill. So, as far as a bit about me, I've been in this whole digital media and marketing world for 15 plus years, and so proud alum of Binghamton, and so was at eMarketer for a while. Spent a long time at the agency side, iCrossing, 360i, MRY, the old Mr. Youth, and just a couple months ago, I joined Sysomos, a social listening and content publishing technology company based out of Toronto and Raleigh, and I get to be here in New York.
Outstanding. I abandoned New York. I know I'm the traitor. I'm in the Midwest, but whatever. I'm still in New York. I'm still in the Eastern time zone, so like I'm still like kind of that, but yeah, almost central. That's outstanding. For those of you that don't know what Sysomos is out there, David, could you kind of tell us a little bit about what you guys are working on, what you're known for? I mean, I know, but this is for everybody's benefit.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to talk about that at length, even as I'm still learning a little bit as I get up to speed.
Right.
But,
so it's good experience on the job for you, right? Totally.
Exactly. So I mean, we're helping marketers and really anyone in business just search and research any kind of topics around tapping into social data out there. We also have tools to curate and publish across a wide range of global social channels and run a lot of analytics incorporating earned and paid data. I've got to give a bit of a shout out today also to our marketing and product teams and Jenny and Erica and the crew who relaunched our website yesterday. So
outstanding. Nice.
For someone like me, it's just the brand's a lot fresher and brighter, and I've been hearing from others who've known the company quite a while that it's like, okay, this is it just helps people get a better understanding of what we do, and so I might not have directed people quite as readily to the website before, but
for sure.
So I was proud of what my colleagues pulled off in pretty short order.
And that's great too. I'd say this is one of the best times to do a redesign to really kind of sharpen and refine the message, especially as I almost don't even want to say it, 3 weeks away from South by Southwest. It's terrifying, right?
So around 3 weeks from that, about a week and a half from our own client summit down in Raleigh. So it's an exciting stretch ahead.
Oh, you're kidding. Dude, you're doing a summit right before that too? Wow,
well,
you're brave.
In between, I get to go to London for Marketing Week Live. So
okay.
Yeah.
Don't fear the travel. Hey, respect. A lot of packing. You might as well just like mail like suitcases everywhere or something. Gosh, that's wild. So yeah, I appreciate that background. That's really great. And I'm actually looking at the website right now. I'm not just checking Twitter, but I'm checking that out, and it looks beautiful. So nicely done. I can check Twitter too, but it's mainly to just let people know that we're live. That's fantastic, man. Huh. So what year is this for you for South by?
Number 9. Pretty sure.
Number 9. Okay.
What about you?
Mine is like 8 or 9. I think the first one I went, I want to say it was 2009. I'm not sure. I'll have to look back at my notes. But yeah, I know we've been seeing each other at that for a long time. I know you've had some great parties in the past. What's special planned for you this year?
What's special is we've had a good partnership, especially for a while, with W2O Group, and so
Nice.
they host some phenomenal events, and I'll be over there like literally right off my plane from London. I'll be heading over to their pre-commerce summit that Friday, and they've got some other fantastic events going on over the course of the weekend. So So,
Excellent.
and it's also funny where like, once you've been for a while, it's a little easier to spend time in one place. Like even CES this year, I wasn't there for that. I was there for a few days, but not a crazy amount. And I had I had dinner where I spent 4 hours with the same very small group of people. Actually, Aaron
That's
Stroud
cool.
from W2O was one of them, and just to well, like if there. I guess finally you reach a certain point, and maybe it took me 10 years of CES and like 8 other years of South by, where you finally get over some of that FOMO, and it's like, let's just enjoy the company you're with.
Exactly. If you have a big crowd that you, instead of flying to 30 different cities, you can just all get together. You don't really have to stand in line for 2 hours to get a free taco. It's like, let's hang out with the crew that we want to see some new people too, have some new experiences. I definitely get that. I have a lot of solace in the fact that I can, guaranteed see a whole lot of people that I just know I'm going to see every year, and it's great.
But
it's such a wonderful place to meet.
the flip side is there was I think 2 years ago I was online for the Cronut event that not attention Allison Lewis was all part of NBC, and that they put on, and I spent 2 hours in line with someone where I struck up a conversation with the person in front of me because they just kind of randomly saw that I tweeted the picture of the line that they were in, and
Right.
and one of the wife of this couple was a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, and so my wife grew up in Dallas, so to come back with like all this amazing
That's
trivia
awesome.
and like a detailed knowledge of what it's like being a Dallas Cowboy, and it's like New York cheerleader. Like, no one cares who like a Giants or Jets cheerleader is. It's just like so from like the A team of A teams here. It's kind of funny who you meet in these 2 hour lines.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to say just sit there in your comfort zone and see like the same people 10
Yeah.
times. So don't get us wrong if that's what you're hearing out of this message. It's just like, what, I don't know. I feel you, man, right? Like once you're over the fact that, wow, all these things are happening. It's like, first year, second year, third year, almost a decade in, like it doesn't necessarily have the same wow value. And you and I are kind of from the old school. I'm not calling you old or calling me old, but like, we've done this tour of duty a few times now. So like we experience this different from people who are, doing it the first time around. So, I think we're just going to look at it a little bit differently as opposed to somebody who's just starting fresh and doing it the first time. And I feel like you kind of have a few different camps, right? Like some people, they're like, oh, I don't go anymore. It's not cool enough. It's not secret enough anymore. And I'm just like, well, I mean, it makes like $250 million for the city, and you want it to be economically viable or it goes away. I mean, I still think it has tremendous value, and I wouldn't skip it personally.
Yeah, and I mean, I think like this past year was I think people were a little bit of a beaten up. It was a tough year in general across the agencies coming from a brutal media review season. Like
Right.
it was just downtimes for a lot of those in the tech community. Just so much uncertainty leading into the election and things like that. That just I think everyone was feeling a little bit bruised in some way. And but still, the kinds of people that were there, the kinds of companies that were there, I just conversations you could have just by standing on a street corner and running into folks. There's nothing like it.
Most definitely. So here's a question. So with all the experience that you've had at it, especially some of the very logistically impossible things to do, like having parties and all these different things, I mean, you're not just walking around with a badge and looking for tacos and beer, I mean, like you've done some really serious things that are difficult to lay out. So what would your advice be? Because I feel like a lot of these interviews and a lot of the people who watch it are people who are going, let's say, their first time. What's something that you wish you would have known that then you kind of experienced?
Well, I think some of it is these little things. Like right now, one of the most helpful things for me is that I've got my Eventbrite notifications on. And
Yes.
like
Nice.
for one time of year that there are friends of mine who I am happy to admit that I've got friends who are far more on the pulse of events and hookups and things like that than I am. And so for instance, like you connect Eventbrite to Facebook, even if you never use it, right? Get the email alerts just for the next few weeks, and you start seeing things pop up as long as you're connected to some people who are better connected, and things like that provide enormous value. Just a lot of people are starting their own little private Facebook groups. Maybe it's a WhatsApp thing. Maybe it's something in Slack, or just whatever you're using for group messaging. And I mean, I've got one in my Sysomos group in Salesforce Chatter, specifically around
Nice.
South by. So anyone who's going, and a couple others who want to just follow along, or might have gone in the past, we're just sharing all this input and pulling things together. So it's just been a great way to expand your knowledge and piggyback on that. And it's funny because there was a reporter last night who started asking me some tips for newbies, and I was writing for like an hour.
Nice. Right. Yeah, it really gets your brain thinking about it, no doubt. I mean, there's so much to take in that it's worth giving a shot instead of wear sneakers and drink water. It's like, well, yes, obviously, like hierarchy of needs, like you don't want to die and be dehydrated and all that. But beyond that, a lot of people just, I don't like have nothing in the tank after that. So I think it's great. Yeah.
And some of it, like there are little things that make a big difference, like remembering not to take any swag. Like you'll meet someone who's like, oh yeah, take my book from this party, and now you feel bad not taking it, but just tell them, you know what, I'll download the Kindle version or order it when I get home. Like you want to go just as light as possible, and just being prepared with an umbrella, ideally a pocket-sized one, because it almost always rains, and you wait for 3 hours for a cab if it rains, because it's like transportation is terrible there.
It's going to be worse this year. You heard what happened?
With Uber and Lyft, or which piece of it?
Yeah, Uber and Lyft are out of there. So who knows what's going to go on? It's crazy.
Well, I was joking to this reporter that I'm just curious if there are all these Uber obsessed tech addicts who get to the air.
Hey, it looks like we just lost you there for a second. I'm going to make sure. Oh, looks like it's just me, and I'm not sure what just happened there.
Yeah,
but here we go.
Here?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
This is why the entire internet is in beta, folks. Continue.
Yeah, so I don't even know what you last caught, but
we were talking about the Uber addicts.
Yeah, and just like people who will physically not know how to get out of the airport with Uber not working. So
right. Like, what do you do?
Go fly home. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't help everybody with that, but I definitely think it will be challenging to an already existing challenge. I've heard there are a number of alternatives. I know in one of the previous shows we did, we posted a couple of links to some of the alternatives. So I would advise everybody, check out what all these alternatives are, get them on your phone, and, just be as close to the downtown as you can, right? Don't take it's not worth saving a couple bucks staying at the airport when it will take you hours to get to the meat of it, because that's all we've got, right? All we have is time and focus.
And I was surprised to hear that someone was just telling like they got an Airbnb that sleeps 6 people. It's like within a few blocks of the convention center for well under a grand a night. So things like there are still ways to be in walking distance.
Yeah, right. And even if you don't score the awesome room at wherever place, there's always a way to do it.
Where are you staying?
Where am I staying?
Yeah.
I am at the Radisson Town Lake, which is basically like right next door to the Four Seasons. It's like 3 blocks from the convention center.
Yeah.
How about you?
I booked the Hilton.
Ooh, sweet.
Classic.
Yeah. I like the Hilton a lot. The Hilton is like it's like so many people meet there, so you literally just like go downstairs and you can see like 1,000 people. It's very cool.
Yeah, though I will say that I've had some great experiences at the Hampton Inn. Their make your own waffle bar.
That's pretty sweet.
The Hampton Inn breakfast. They're like one of the cheapest properties around there, and that breakfast bar after a very long night, it's like if you wake up early enough to catch breakfast, it's the only little caveat. But yeah, the Hill was great. This is actually the first time I booked South by not knowing who my employer was going to be if I was going to.
Right. Interesting. No kidding. Yeah, that's a little scary.
I was actually IMing someone, Laura Levitan, another longtime veteran, and I was IMing her the day tickets went on sale. I'm like, should I do this? And I got it. I might be working for myself. I have no idea what's going to happen come March. And
Right.
book it. Like, you will not regret it. Yeah, at worst, you get rid of the room and you find someone to take it.
Somebody else will always take your room. Yeah, no doubt. Right.
So I'm glad I gave her the good advice and me the better room. So.
Well, we're going to have to tag Laura in this so she can be sure to see that. Absolutely.
Good. I can't talk about South by and connecting with people without the just the inimitable Laura Levitan. So.
For sure. I don't think she and I have actually met in person yet.
It's funny when she was one of those people, and I can say this in public because I'm sure I've told the story. It's like I didn't know her deal at first, and it's like we were so connected online. Like, do I know this woman? And I'm like, and then when she was so instrumental in MRY's success and Mr. Youth Days, and I keep running into people like Laura got me a job. Laura got us this great piece of business. And it's been great getting to know her, but also from other people, and just she makes an impact. So.
And that's how the way to be, right? I mean, like, you guys do social listening, we do infographics, but that's not like the only thing we do, right? Like, we massively connect other people, and that's kind of how humanity should be, right? Like, we can treat each other transactionally and just be a bunch of ATM machines and just be gross capitalists and not care about anything else. Or we can try to also make the world a better place once in a while, right? Somebody's got to.
It's also funny being over where I am, where I'm in like a very competitive space. I mean, I know you're used to being the market leader where you are, and
right.
There's not even a number 2 in your book. You're like in a league of your own, but we've got a pretty cutthroat field here, and it's amazing. Just like even the day I joined, Will McInnes, who's the CMO of Brandwatch, was publicly congratulating me on Twitter, and I've caught up with just all these fantastic people who where we're competing with a wide range of companies in some way, and you get to South by, and it's like it's just this amazing place where you see where, like you're saying, you get to just treat people as people, and it's you drop a lot of that pretense. You're not just,
exactly.
You're not in a pinch.
Right, not at all. I find that everybody is in generally a very good mood there, quite approachable, and we're having a good time at the same time, right? Like, we're not just drinking like crazy, and I mean, there's definitely business being conducted, but like, it's in a very nice atmosphere. I know, like, this year, like, the weather is crazy and it's warm everywhere, but usually it's super freezing, and then you get to Austin and it's like spring already, and it's just so cool, and everybody's in a good mood, and it rains one day, but then it's just incredible like the rest of the time. Just got to look forward to that,
I was still amazed the one year Kraft pulled off getting something like 2,000 umbrellas branded, like within 24 hours of a major storm front that came through that no one was really expecting.
That's just absurd.
Yeah.
That's impressive. People don't realize like how logistically tough it is to do stuff like that.
Oh man, it is. It's totally nuts. A lot of credit for the brands that can add some very tangible value like that.
Absolutely. Very cool. What else do I want to say? Any particular events that are you speaking? Are you doing any panels this year?
Just through W2O. I actually this year didn't even put in a pitch because I really had no clue beyond not knowing who I was working for. I didn't know what I'd really want to be talking about.
I hear you.
Well, what about you? Are you speaking?
I'm not. I might do like a pitch stage thing. I got to check on that, but I already did like the last 3 years in a row, and I'm just like, you know what? Like, I really just need some headspace and focus. I felt like we talked a lot about VR last year, and like the market wasn't quite ready. I'm hoping it'll be a little bit better this year, but a lot of the cooler stuff is still coming. So I'm doing a little bit more core focus and, obviously have a couple ideas up my sleeve and all that. So it'll be cool and coming soon. But yeah.
Well, maybe this year, instead of actually talking to people, we could just talk to their chat bots.
I guess. I mean, I kind of like talking to humans, and some of that stuff gets a little creepy, but chatbots are fun too. Chatbots are people too, right?
Yeah, why not?
They'd like us to believe with the Turing test. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Let's see. Let's take a look. Do we have any questions out there from the audience? It doesn't look like. I mean, I'm looking at the thread on Facebook, and I see there were a couple people that were jumping in. Amber were writing a couple of notes. Yeah. It's very cool. I don't think I actually went to the Sysomos party last year, but I'll have to check that out. Are you guys doing a party this year, or you're only doing the WTO?
Yeah, just piggybacking on others. So
get together. Okay, yeah. Sweet. And that's open to the public, right?
Well, I mean, I know they're somewhat selective. They don't want any riffraff coming through now.
I know. We got to look at our clout scores or whatever.
But for those who are friends with those folks, that definitely it's a good time of year to be especially good friends with.
Absolutely. And we can post all these different links that we've been referencing in the show notes later. Very cool.
Great.
Awesome, man. What else can you tell us?
Oh, what else do your people want to know?
I wish I knew, right? I mean, I'm always trying different things and looking to see what people are interested in. I think people are just fascinated with what everybody's take on it is. So some people, roll deep on serendipity. Some people have it planned out to the nines. And then there's a lot of people that are just kind of in the middle. So let me ask, and maybe we can end off with this. So where would you say you are on that spectrum, right? Are you just, let's have every hour structured, let's just kind of be in the moment, or, like the safe bet with just our group of friends? Like, where would you say you kind of fall out on that stuff?
So I get embarrassingly anal when it comes to South by, and so I like to have some flexibility, but seriously, what I'll do is right before the event, I'll actually take everything I'm invited to or responded to or know about. I'll put it in a Word doc. I'll then so just have it chronologically, the date, time, just what the event is, if I have any special VIP access or there's someone I might not realize who's associated with it that I want to get to. And then I'll color code it. And I'll color code it with the green for anything I'm absolutely going to. I'll do yellow for stuff I want to kind of hit up, and maybe I'll just leave the other blank, or sometimes I've done a red and I color code for stuff I'm really not going to wind up hitting. And it winds up like the green events in particular winds up being my guide, and some of it is like, okay, this is a dinner you agreed to. There are 20 people. Like you definitely want to hit this one. It'll be clear if you're not there, and you don't want to miss it. And so those are also the things that I tend to prioritize when it's like, if a friend of mine's hosting something, if there's someone where where people care if you show up or not. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and people do take that seriously for sure.
It's like if someone didn't show to one of the MRY parties the past few years, like honestly, we love having our friends and clients there and all that. But if like one person show, there are enough others, and it's always crazy zoo, and so almost a relief for the bouncers if someone decides not to show that night, caught up with that stuff. But for some of these things, like especially there was something I was like, when someone was from the platform was telling me about an event, like I thought it was their main event they were putting me on the list for, and they're like no, there are 30 people at this. I'm like, okay, you're telling me about this personally. I will move everything around. I'm not double booking myself for this.
Love it.
So anyway.
Awesome. Good stuff, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm almost embarrassed to say I'm very much like you on that too. So like, I don't just sit around waiting for serendipity to wave its magic wand and tap me on the shoulder or whatever. I mean, we spend a lot of time and money planning this out to a T, right? So a lot of my time is already spoken for before I touch down. And, we do the trade show every year, so that takes a huge chunk. So while a lot of my friends are just partying and they're like, wow, this is so much fun, I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I probably don't work harder any week of the year than this, right? Because it's just, trade show's a beast. There's like 75,000 people that show up to it. It's a lot of fun. You ever do the trade show?
I've walked it. I haven't worked it.
It is exhausting, and people, you're right, do not realize like the level of effort on it. It's something.
Yeah, I did like the web hosted company that turned their whole booth into a giant walk-in yam. That was memorable. Do you remember the yam?
No, I don't think I saw that one. Unfortunately, I don't always get to walk all of it, but
they were giving out.
Which one was that?
They were even like giving out yams, and I mean, it's a whole spoof of like, no, there's some really bad ideas here. Look for a better one, kind of thing.
Right.
And so it's like you show up with your yam, and they'll give you $50, and it was really smart.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of work to stand out in this level of noise, right? So you've got to do things that are just weird and kitschy and quirky and remarkable, right? It's not enough to just shock people and do things that are crazy. Like you remember what Mothi did with St. Bernard?
Oh,
that was really awesome. That was beautiful, and just such a great metaphorical image, right? Because like, what's the like?
Yeah.
Like digitally saving your phone or whatever. Smart guys. Yeah.
For sure.
Love it. Very cool. Well, listen, I actually got to jump to another meeting, but this has been a pleasure, man. I'm so glad that we could take the time and do this. Want to leave anything else out to the audience? Maybe just where can everybody find you on social channels and your company, and anything else you'd like to, any parting words of wisdom?
I don't know about wisdom, but I'm at Berkowitz on most channels and serialmarketer.net blog, and a big shout out to the team that relaunched Sysomos.com. So congrats to all of that for at least one thing off their to-do list. Yeah, for real. Sounds like they're keeping you busy, man. It sounds like a wonderful fit, and I'm glad you've found a great organization. They're lucky to have you. Listen, man, been a pleasure, and thanks everybody for tuning in. We will continue rolling this series. Lots of people have been clamoring around wanting to be on it, so stay tuned. We'll have some more updates for you soon. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. See ya. Thanks, David.